My regards. Welcome to the Champions League, and today we are talking about the Group League. We will make an episode every Wednesday in which we summarize the matches on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we will choose a few matches and talk about them. In today's episode, we will certainly talk about the master of the tournament, Real Madrid, and what is dangerous this season, as Barcelona seems, and we will talk about Bayern Munich. And the summit with Man United and the complex group that includes Newcastle, Milan, Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund, and we will definitely pass on Manchester City. And some strange details that occur for the first time in the Champions League. For your information, there is no arrangement for the matches between Tuesday and Wednesday. We will talk about what comes to my mind today. Real Madrid won with a late goal against Union Berlin. Of course, this late goal has become one of Real Madrid's habits. This is the nature of Real Madrid. In the second half, Real Madrid deserved to win 100%. He could have scored from the position of more than one attack, but sometimes the share is that he is a writer, and it is clear that Bellingham wants to enter the hearts of all Madridistas with a goal like today's goal. It was actually possible for Real Madrid to decide the match much earlier, with 2 or 3 goals, but things were delayed for Bellingham to be the hero of the screen. But in an important story, the Union Berlin players after the match, you feel that they feel proud that they are what separated them was that they took the first point in their history in the Champions League from the most important team in the history of the Champions League in their stadium. For 1 minute, their fans saluted them in a way that perhaps we know the pure value of football, which we forgot and were preoccupied with who won and who lost. Their fans were happy that he went and played with Real Madrid in the league. Europe champions. Barcelona also started the Champions League in a strong way, and João Felix was the most important gain, almost as important as the 3 points, because João Felix initially needed a quick dose of confidence for 2 reasons, his suffering with Atletico and Chelsea, and the talk in the beginning that Xavi did not want him in his team. This man entered the team as if he had been playing with Barcelona for a long time with a record, and he assisted in more than one position in more than one match. The man now, except for the stage of gaining confidence in 2 matches, has ended it. He has now entered a new stage, which is the stage of continuity. Of course, Barcelona has a group in hand, and it is expected that he will settle it with ease. Barcelona is perhaps the big team. The only one you see trying to win every 6 matches. Because of the 6 matches, each match contains a sum of several million. He needs every penny in it, and we also had on the same day Manchester City turn the score around and they want to win, and this is normal and expected. I mean, none of us think that when he saw City trailing by a goal to nothing, there was no doubt that they could lose. I mean, we know the difference. But the beautiful thing about the matter is that the decision came through Julian Alvarez. Guardiola knew how to manage Julian Alvarez amazingly. In the first season, he was away from the limelight, making him a player who remained accustomed to the system and the style he had never played with. And this season he was paid by a key player. A key player who doesn't score, he just doesn't score or make plays and plays the role of a playmaker behind the striker in many situations. Julian Alvarez was carefully prepared and equipped morally, mentally and technically, and he was an intelligent, professional and obedient player. I understand that football has a long history. Of course, Newcastle and Milan, we saw Newcastle playing for the point, but why? Because in a complex group, you will see that this point after the last round will be very important, because in complex groups you collect a point from here and a point from here, from outside and from inside. This is what qualifies you. Newcastle considers itself when it plays with Milan on its home soil, meaning in England, it means it must win, according to this logic. He says, if I take a point from him, I will win a confrontation with him with 4 points. Milan also tried, but let's talk about Inter's defeat. It was hurtful to Milan. It made him not play with the usual confidence. He tried to be better, but in the end, Paris Saint-Germain did not win. He entered the match with Dortmund, and also demanded victory. He won and was superior for many periods of the match, as we saw, and he was able to score his goals that made him victorious. It was a match. Yesterday was perhaps an important match, meaning if he lost it, we might see a surprise with Luis Enrique being expelled after a bad start in the league. Because you are changing an entire team, and usually when you have a little chaos, the chaos grows. Yesterday's victory was a nerve-wracking one in the French league. There is no rush to dismiss any coach for Saint-Germain, as we know. The important thing is the Champions League. Europe needs time because they changed the entire team for it. This is normal. But at the same time, they want a team that gets along and gets some points, and this is what was achieved. We go to the Bayern Munich and Manchester United match. The match started by Ten Hag shouted. Why did he shout? He started it off mentally and technically mentally. The team had unshaken self-confidence, and everyone told you that Bayern Munich will win. This is what logic says. He entered the match as a brave striker and almost scored a goal with Eriksen's chance, and the chance that may have been suspected of a penalty kick, according to many people, a match and a shot and a very strong start from Man United to the first quarter. 1 hour he was superior. He knew how to do everything on the field, attacking and defending. It was all his. Ten Hag wanted to make the players feel that you were no less than Bayern. Play loudly and we will win. Indeed, his moral style succeeded, and even technically he focused on Laimer and Upamecano because it was the weakest side defensively, and this made him enter the penalty area. More than once, as we saw it, we can say that we were shocked in the beginning. Man United outperformed Bayern. Bayern was absent in the Allianz Arena, but one shot changed everything. This is an established rule in football when a team is superior and feels that it is doing better than expected of it and concedes a goal by mistake from its goalkeeper. The matter has ended. More than one player will leave the match mentally for a few minutes at a time and return to the match, and this is what happened because from Bayern Munich's first real shot, Onana committed a fatal mistake, a mistake that raised De Gea's stock to the sky, because people began to say that at least he was making a save, he was blocking a ball like this. And this is the fatal mistake that what Onana committed shook his players morally, of course, for the record, so that we do not exaggerate Onana as a goalkeeper, as usual with Inter, he does not have these mistakes. For mistakes of this magnitude, it means that the expected goals are always scored against him due to interference in him. This means that he is average in terms of saves. He is a goalkeeper, meaning he saves, not the goalkeeper that is currently happening to him. I think it is just a stage of losing confidence, and the goalkeeper must be given confidence in order to return. Back to the game. Here we are talking about Bayern taking advantage of the issue and scoring the second goal because many of United's players did not come back. It was a mental collapse, and in this case you know more that United are currently mentally weak.